servant of Prabhu Sri Ram. So we appeal to that divine form, Sri Hanuman, to be present in our midst and to grant us the wisdom and intelligence to appreciate and to narrate and to sing his katha. आइए हनुमंत विराजिए कथा कहो मति अनुसार प्रेम सहित गगीधरो पधारिए पवन कुमार सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम शंकर हरि ओम. Come Hanuman, I am about to recite Sri Ram's Katha. As far as my knowledge permits me, please come and be seated amongst us. Take a most beautiful seat and allow your divine energy to radiate within this temple, to bring a sense of peace, calm and joy to all hearts. And Lord, to spread your divinity throughout this cosmos. For this we ask in your most holy name. Prem se bolo Pawan Purta Hanuman ki jai. Now to recap what took place last week, I know many of you were not here. There is this situation that we are discussing where Mother Parvati, when she saw Sri Ram and she looked at Lord Shiva, her consort, to her there was a great disparity between them. And she thought that when Lord Shiva saw Sri Ram, there was such a divine energy radiating through him that she could not understand why he was so enthused by looking at Sri Ram, when she saw him as just as an ordinary person. She is just representing us. Her ignorance is not hers, it is ours. But through her, we are able to comprehend and to understand the situation. So she's saying, like the normal human being, that he was so, distorted when he lost his wife, and he's crying and he's appealing to all nature. Did you see my Sri Ram? Did you see my Mata Janki ji? And this confused mind, the confusion is ours. She is confused and saying, how it is my Lord, he is so enthused and energetic by just looking at him. There was a different kind of ecstasy with him. And she did not understand that. Even though Lord Shankara explained to her, she did not take it as truth. And she went, so if you do not know it's true, then please go and test. And she went and tested. And she made a transformation of herself as Mother Sita. And that was one of the biggest mistakes that she made, that part of the thing. And Sri Ram recognized her. And then he showed his resplendence, his glory to her in many ways. And when she came back, Lord Shankara asked her, did you test Sri Ram? He said, no, I didn't test him. I took your word for it. So I didn't test her. So he realized, he knew that she was telling a lie. And then more than that, the worst of it, she took the form of Mata Janki ji, whom Lord Shankara reveres as mother. And that was the biggest mistake that she made. So he said, the fact that you have lied, and then you took this form, because when I look at you now, I do not see you. I see my mother, Mata Janki ji. And as such, this relationship that you have cannot be continued as such. And he had decided, he take upon a promise that unless that body is changed of us, that he would have nothing to do with her. And she became very, very, sad at that situation. And in the last Chaupai, we said that Lord Shankara, when he saw that she was so confused and that she was very unhappy with that situation, they were traveling to Kailash. And he began to tell her stories. so as to bring her out of that distress. But when he reached Kailash, he realized the promise that he made, and he could not continue like that. And he went into deep meditation. And in that meditation, he penetrated deep within the recesses of his mind and thinking. And in the process of thinking, he went into a great deep sleep, so to speak, in meditation. So I want to begin from that point, two Siddhas sings in Chaupai. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Tulsidas is narrating this katha to his fellow sadhus. Yagnabalak is reporting the same katha to Bharadwaj. He's saying, Nita nabasochu sati udabhara kabajayahu dukasagar para. He's saying, ever since this episode took place, Sati's heart was burdened. Every day, thinking about it, there was a fresh sorrow. When she thinks of what has happened, the relationship that she has had and the relationship that is now. So she's very deeply distraught. And she's saying, Kaba Jayahu Dukha Sagar Para. Dukha Sagar is an ocean of sorrow. He says, when shall I be able to cross this ocean of sorrow? When? As she looked at it, she sees no end to this special situation that he was in. And she's asking, when shall I be able to cross this? Main jo kaha rakupati apamana puni pratibachana mrish kari jana. He says that it was I who slighted Sri Ram, Raghunath. And besides that, puni pratibachana mrish kari jana. Pratibachan refers to the words of his Lord Mahadev. He says, and I did not, I used the word as being untrue. And because of that, I am suffering right now. So how can I cross this ocean, this precipice of difficulty? How can I transcend this? She's thinking. Because every day she thinks about it, it puts her in a mood of distress. And the more she thinks of it, more distressful she becomes. So Tulsidas tells us in Chaupai. uchit raha soi kina. She's saying that providence, God perhaps, providence has repaid me for my sins. I am only reaping what I have sown. Whenever we suffer, it's not because of somebody else. It's because of our own doings. She recognizes that I am undergoing all these pressures because of my own sin. And he says, Jo tachu uchit raha soi kina. And this is really fitting. I can't get away from it. There's nothing I could do to change that. That is exactly what I deserve. She admits that. She's saying, Ab biti asa bujhiya nahi tohi sankar vimuk ji awasi mohi. She's saying, but now, oh God, think it's not right. It is not right to preserve my life. In other words, she's saying there's no point in living at this point in time. He says, I am alienated from Shankara, my devoted husband. I am no longer my consort. I am alienated from him. So there is no point in living. So there are two aspects of this. As a Lord, she can't stay without him. And as a devotee and the divine. Without the Lord, the devotee is nothing. So at two levels we have to look at this. As a devotee, the devotee can't survive in the absence of God. God is the ultimate for the devotee. And then for her as the wife, Lord Shankara is the ultimate. How can I survive without him? And there is greater pain in seeing him there and not being able to converse. So there is that pain that she's enduring. What does she do? Tulsidas tells us in Chopra. She's saying, this anguish, this agony that I am undergoing is beyond words. I cannot express the extent of my problem. She's saying, Mana Mahuram Hisumiri Sayani. And she wisely thought of, she's thinking, Mana Maharama Hisumiran. Rama Hisumiran. She's thinking of Sri Ram. Let me just get with this.
The phones are going on.
Yeah. So, Mana Mahurama hi Sumiri. Sumiri is to think deeply of. And she's thinking of Prabhu Sri Ram. And she said, Jo Prabhu Deen Dayalu Kahawa. Who is Deen Dayalu? The one who pities the humble. She says, Jo Prabhu Deen Dayalu Kahawa. It is said, Lord, that you are the one who brings rescue to the humble. And Arati Haran Ved Jasu Gava. And the Vedas have also hymned this, your glory, as the remover of distress. You are the remover of distress. But the Vedas have also sanctioned and said that you are the remover of distress. So she's appealing to Sri Ram. What does she say in that appeal? Tulsidas says as a Chopar. With clasped hands, I bow to you, my Lord, and I supplicate that chute begi deha mori. I'm asking you, Lord, that this body of mine be dissolved completely. I cannot bear this separation. And as such, life is not worth living anymore. Do something, my Lord, to dissolve this body of mine. I must give up this body. And he says, Jo more Sivacharana Sneha. Sivacharan means the feet of the Lord. Sneha is that kind of love. He says, if I truly love Lord Shiva's feet, and man kram bachan, you just Pandit said that. Man, in my mind, deep within my soul, if I love him, in karm, my action, all my actions have proven that. Bachan, my words, if I love him to that extent, in all facets of my life, man kram bachan, he says then, and if I have maintained that wifely vow, it is true in thought, word and deed, then, and he completes, I finished this morning lesson with this Duha, Tulsidas sings. He's saying, listen, my Lord, you are all pervading, you know everything, you're all seeing. He says, Karavaso begi upai, speedily devise some plan so that I can get rid of this body. I'm asking you to do that for me. He says, Hoi maramu jehibinayasam dusaha bipati vihai. He says, a plan by which I may die. Because it's not worth living anymore. If my Lord, if I cannot speak to my Lord, if I don't have that relationship, if the devotee doesn't have that relationship with the divine, there is no point in living. Life is worthless. That is my state, my Lord. And so with ease, do sabipati bihai, I will be able to avoid this intolerable problem that I'm going through. This difficulty that I experience, if I'm out of this body. If I give way to this body, if I give up this body, then I shall not have that problem anymore. So she is very desperate because she does not have that relationship with Lord Shankara. If we do not have that kind of relationship with the divine, then life for us is not worth living. Our life is only meaningful when we strike that relationship with Him. And God does not vex us. It is we who withdraw from Him. So she's asking Sri Ram. She understands the mistake that she has made, and that is the importance of when we recognize and understand that we are at fault, that we have done something wrong, and we are good enough to humbly supplicate to the divine. He understands that. Many people are wrong, but they do not have the courage and strength to admit. When we can admit that we have fallen short, it shows how powerful and great we are. It doesn't belittle you, it makes you even greater. So she is in deep distress, and she has asked Prabhu Shri Ram, my Lord, you are the one who removed the distresses of the heart. The Vedas have also said that. And if that is so, then my Lord, free me from this life. So next week we'll continue from this point. So,
beautiful Katha. One thing that Lord Shiva represents when we say Karpur Gauram Karuna Avataram. A Karpur, which is the body, is as white as the canvas, symbolizing Truth, truth. And she violated that principle. This is why also she has to pay that penalty. There's personal accountability in life for what we do. We can't escape it. There's a law of karma. This is a relentless law. As we sow, so shall we reap in life. And this applies to all of us. This is one of the great teachings of Sanatan Dharma. Dharma nadusar satya samana. When we uphold truth, when we uphold Dharma, we uphold Lord Shiva, we uphold all the devatas then. But when we start lying, then we bring in the Rakshas into our lives. And this is the problem that we have in life, with the lies between lies and truth. Let us all follow the truth. And, of course, become the wonderful Hindus we are supposed to be. I'll give you 5 minutes, Professor G. They are asking again.